Yours truly. It's crazy. It's like I either have great weeks or terrible weeks. I have not had many 500 weekends in gambling this season. I'm either going like 5-2 or 4-2, or I'm going 1-6. And unfortunately, this past weekend was one of the 1-6 weekends. Thank goodness for the over in Oregon and Washington, because outside of that, I missed literally everything. So our overall record, we sit now 26, 26, and 3. So the good news is this. The last time I was at 500, we had a big bounce back weekend. I think we're going to do the same this weekend. So without further ado, week 8 gambling picks. We start, guys, Georgia Tech and Boston College. Love the Yellow Jackets -4.5. I like what Georgia Tech is doing with the program with Haynes King. You look at this game, Georgia Tech hosting this game in Atlanta, a noon kickoff against the Eagles. Love Georgia Tech in this ball game, -4.5. I would not be surprised if this one got sideways in favor of Georgia Tech. Arkansas taking on Mississippi State, guys. We talked about the importance of this game, I think, for both Sam Pittman, Zach Arnett, but this game being in Fayetteville, I know there's no Rocket Sanders. Arkansas has to have this one. They just have to have it, guys. Arkansas, this is as must-win as it gets for the Sam Pittman era in Fayetteville. I'm taking Arkansas -7. I think they're going to will their way to victory. I think Arkansas will get the job done. I still don't think, guys, Mississippi State is all that good. And so, again, for that reason, I've got Arkansas -7 in a must-win spot on their home field against the Hogs, or excuse me, in front of the Hogs faithful. We move to the third Saturday in October, guys. Alabama taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. This one's going to be fun, man. Revenge spot, right? Revenge written all over it after last year's 52-49 game, the thriller in Knoxville. I'm not jumping on the spread either way. This thing opened up, I think Bama was like a 10 or 11-point favorite. It's already down to Bama -8. So the money is pouring in on Tennessee. I'm going to stay away from that. I love the under 47.5, guys. You got a weak Alabama offensive line, a great front seven from Tennessee, and then you got Alabama's front seven, one of the best in the SEC as well, and a quarterback in Joe Milton who is very inconsistent and downright at times not good. I think this is a low-scoring slugfest, something like 24-20 or something in that regard. I think it goes under 47.5. I think this is a fun, kind of has that old school SEC where defense dominates the day type of feel. I think under 47.5 is the play in Tuscaloosa. South Carolina travels to Como to take on the Missouri Tigers. Guys, what's interesting is South Carolina opened up as an 8-point underdog. That line is now 7.5. So money is coming in on South Carolina to at least keep this thing close. And what's unique about this series, guys, I think it's like 5 or 6 years in a row, this game has gone under the total. This game's gone under the total. So this has been a lower scoring defensive type of ball game. And these games, it feels like they're always close as well, right? Like the South Carolina-Missouri series has been crazy, and that's putting it lightly. But with that being said, guys, streaks are meant to be broken. Streaks in the sense of the under the total, right? Because there's no way I see this thing staying under 59.5. I think that South Carolina can't stop a nosebleed, and South Carolina's only chance of winning is Spencer Rattler and the offensive attack balling out. I think the over 59.5 is one of the easiest plays of the weekend. Again, I don't think the Gamecocks are going to have any answer for Brady Cook, Luther Burden, Theo Weiss Jr. Like, I just don't see this being the game that South Carolina has their resurgence defensively. And I mean, guys, you look at the depth chart, it's going to be the same guys out there, man. I mean, it's going to be the same guys in coverage trying to cover up Theo Weiss Jr. and Luther Burden. And I'm not saying Mizzou's going to score 50, but I don't see that ending well, right? So I think over 59.5 is the play this weekend in Como. West Virginia taking on Oklahoma State. A 3:30 kickoff. The Mountaineers looking for a big win. I think they get it. -3.5. I've got West Virginia, the Fighting Pat McAfees in Morgantown. I think they get the job done, guys. Oklahoma State stinks, flat out. You almost need no more reason to bet against Oklahoma State than that. They're terrible this year. I don't know what's going on. Iowa and Minnesota. You might recall, guys, a couple of weeks ago, I took the over in an Iowa game because I told you all, if you bet the under in this ball game, you're just a sicko. Bottom line, point blank, you're a weird human being. You know what? I have officially crossed over into sicko territory because I am taking the under in Iowa, Minnesota, under 32 and a half. Bring on the defense, baby. I want to see it. Bring on the defense. I cannot wait to watch this and be pulling for like a 10-7 game. I just can't wait to do it. So I've crossed over into sicko territory, Iowa, Minnesota, under 32 and a half. Love it. And finally, guys, I'm biting. Listen, I'm biting on the James Madison hype. It's just one guy. But that one guy has been fantastic this year. They got to travel to Marshall. Kind of a tricky spot. This game's actually on Thursday, a 7 o'clock kickoff. But James Madison, guys, they're coming off a 41-13 win over Georgia Southern. They have been great this year. It's one guy, but that one guy will be enough to take down Marshall and to cover the 3.5.